Okay, everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you're new to me reading stuff. I'm your host, Robin O'Neill, and I'm a person who, I have a washcloth with cold water on my head and the back of my neck right now. It makes me feel like I'm like rapping at Staples Center for thousands of people, but really, I just cannot get cooled down, and it's nice and cold outside. But I'm just like really hot. I don't know if I've got hot flashes. Anyway, that's beside the point. I just want you to get the picture of what I'm looking like right now. I'm looking cool with a bunch of cold rags all over me. And I'm here because I just love, or I don't know how to say it, I revel in sharing things I love with you guys. And in this case, that usually means on this podcast, I'm going to share something that I've read either recently or in the past that has made some sort of impact on me. I also just love reading out loud to others. I always have. I was always the dork who volunteered to read out loud in class. Like, my hand would shoot up so fast. I think I hate admitting that, but then again, that's just who I am. So there's that element of the whole thing. And these podcasts, if you're new, they don't usually last all that long, at least not these days. They used to be 5 minutes, then they went to 10 minutes, then 20, and then I would go anywhere from like 45 to, maybe like anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes is usually kind of where they land. But I think this podcast is a bit of mystery to me too. I honestly don't always know why I feel so compelled to do it, but there's just something in me that trusts that it's right, so I'm just gonna keep doing it, and I will not overthink the whys. I will not overthink the whys. That's gonna be my new motto. All the best things I've ever done in life were approached in that same fashion, where I don't overthink the whys. I think I just wrote something. By the way, I want to tell you guys that I have a new Substack, and the new post was posted yesterday, and that will give you an idea of what I'm about to do on there. I'm going to be sharing lots and lots of images from all of the hundreds of notebook pages I have, hundreds and hundreds of notebook pages I have. If any of you guys know my work, you may know that I have obsessively, drawn and written down almost everything I can possibly think of or do in these notebooks, in these one certain kind of composition notebooks. And I've decided I'm going to take photos or scans of a lot of different things and share them with you. I mean, I could do that for the next 500 years and I'd still have more to share. So, Substack, Robin O'Neill, check it out. I'll put a link in the description. That's going to be really fun. Anyway, in summary, I'm here to keep you guys... I'm going to go back and forth, I can tell. I've got a lot on my mind. But this podcast, I like keeping you company. I like sharing a little bit of the written word with you in hopes that somehow this combination of me sharing my life and sharing what kind of writing I'm into, I feel like in some peculiar way, it's me caring for some of you guys out there. And that's all I want to say. Let's go. I can tell I'm going to get redundant or not really say there's not a lot to say about it. But anyway, I just wanted to update you guys on that. Okay, let's do a little bit of minor housekeeping. Back to the Substack thing. For those of you who are not clear on what the hell Substack is, I wasn't until fairly recently either, but here is, I'm going to pull up the Wikipedia blurb. Substack is an American online platform that provides publishing, payment, analytics, and design infrastructure to support subscription newsletters. It allows writers to send digital newsletters directly to subscribers. Okay, so I don't know if that does the best job. In my words, it's an easy way for me to manage my newsletter, which a lot of you all have signed up for throughout the years. And because I'm healthier now and I'm finally returning to work, naturally, I wanted a way to get the word out about all the various things I'm doing. And Substack makes it super easy to post such a large array of things. It can be my newsletter. It can be audio files, images, scans of drawing, as I've mentioned, my writing, links to my lectures with commentary by me, just various videos. You name it, I can do it through Substack. But what happened last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago now, was I'd been developing my new Substack page behind the scenes and kind of making rough drafts of what kind of things I want to post. And I didn't mean to actually send it out to all of my all of the kind people who had previously signed up for my newsletter in the past. But I am a bit of a technology moron, and so I accidentally sent out this boring post to everybody. So if you were one of those people who actually care to be informed of the ins and outs of my art and or podcast life, I'm sorry if that post was intrusive or boring. I mean, you probably got it and were like, okay, so what's this? Because I think it was just 4 photos. I mean, they all did pertain to that week's Me Reading Stuff episode. But anyway, listen, I promise really good things are coming to my Substack week after week. And again, check yesterday's post if you want to see what that's like. And B, even after that lame-ass post that I gave you guys, many of you out there joined the Substack and even donated funds to the page. And holy moly, I never imagined that would happen. So thank you so very, very much. That was so unbelievably sweet. And yeah, Substack kind of has, I think you have to put that money thing in there. So I just put whatever they recommended, I think. And I actually got some donations and some full year subscribers. And I honestly thank you so, so, so much. In particularly, I can't talk. I want to thank Jen and John because they were the first ones to do so. So yes, I promise I will make it worth your money. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you can join for completely free. And most of what I'll be sharing will be free. But once I start doing the paid plans, you guys will really like what I'm offering. But I want to kind of slowly roll that out. And around early December, somebody's going to win something kind of insane if you are a paid subscriber. So moving on. Thank you for listening to all of that. I feel like I've been talking for 10 hours about Substack, but I just wanted to share with you guys that last week something really big happened for me, and I'll just say it plainly. I officially went back to work in my studio, and for those of you that don't know, if you just go back a few episodes to the Me Reading Stuff episode titled Something About Emily Dickinson. It's a recent episode, just a few weeks back, and it's called Emily Dickinson, I think. And that, if you listen to that episode, I have a very brief description of what happened to me and why I haven't been making drawings and why I destroyed my studio and why I thought I would never return to art making again. And I can't say it again and again. And I will refer to it a lot. I'll refer to some stuff that happened to me a lot because I can't not, because it was just too major of an event. But anyway, this past Tuesday, last Tuesday, during the evening, unexpectedly, I got up from watching Married to Medicine on Paramount.com or whatever it's on, Peacock.com. I had eaten dinner with Damien, and I just suddenly walked into my new mini studio. I don't have like a big studio anymore, but I turned another room into a small studio. There's no way to use the walls, so I can't make any big drawings currently, and I don't know that I'll ever be up for that again. But I love making small drawings, and I had hoped recently that I would get back to really doing it, and somehow Tuesday night, I just sort of, like a zombie, walked in there and started to draw. And I don't know. I just want to share that with you guys. It was kind of funny, too, because everything I used to do, nothing was set up right for me anymore. For instance, the way I used to make drawings, I never touched my own drawings, and my hand would only... between my hand and the piece of paper, there was always a little square that I would cut of glassine. Glassine is like a wax paper, for those of you who know kitchen wax paper, but it's special archival see-through paper that protects artwork and protects drawings. And so in between my sweaty palms and my drawings was always a little sheet of glassine. And I would sometimes employ people to cut those little squares out for me because I would use so many of them, especially for all of my drawings, but in particular the large ones. And anyway, I had this big plastic thing that I've always used for my pre-cut squares of glassine to put under my hand so I could draw without my sweaty ass hands ruining all the paper I draw on. Oh, God, I'm exhausted. I feel like I haven't taken just give me a minute. Back to glassine in a minute. I need to drink maybe 10 glasses of water really quick. I'm hot. I'm thirsty. I'm exhausted. Okay, give me a second.
Yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but I just might throw a book at you.
Okay, I'm back. I'm all liquided up, whatever it's called. I got water in me. Honestly, I wish there was a way for me to win an award for how much I love water. Like if there was an award for somebody who loved water more than anybody else on the planet, drinking water, that is, I really believe I would win it. Maybe there could be an essay, and somebody could throw an essay contest and I would win. I love drinking water, to a crazy degree. Oh, it's so weird almost. Anyway, so the glassine, this blue plastic bin, I got into the studio, I looked and looked, it's nowhere to be found, which means I definitely, in one of my fits of rage and upset, threw it out. Thought, I'm never drawing again, I'm done with this whole world, so fuck it, I'm throwing out. One of the most important components to me drawing, honestly, was that blue plastic tub where I put all of these pieces of glassine, and I had enough to go for years because it takes a lot to cut these squares from a big roll of glassine. Well, guess what, guys? Old me would have spent probably another 4 days just searching for the black bin until I knew that that blue tub was gone. Because I also have problems letting go of things like that. Like if I think I'm going to be able to find something, I will look forever. But what happened on this occasion last Tuesday night was that, okay, shit, my blue tub of things is not here, my glassine, okay. I looked for a good 25 minutes and I said, Robin, you got 5 more minutes. You cannot look past a half hour. You got to just cut a few more. Even if you work until midnight tonight, you would only need maybe 8 of them. So 8 of those little squares, they're about the size of my hand, And so I got out luckily I still had a roll of glassine. And I got it out, got it on the floor, unrolled it, cut some glassine squares, and started to draw. So that was cool. I also lost I have several different smudge tools, these smudge stumps. I could not find the one that I use for Prismacolor. And that used to be a big thing where I would only use one thing for everything. Because again, I've mentioned to you guys, I am OCD, for real OCD. And so I couldn't find it. And again, I was like, you know what you have, Robin? You have an entire drawer in this one IKEA drawer system that's on wheels. And I know for a fact I had an entire drawer of other smudge tools. They're called tortillions, I think. And so you can, and they're all brand new. But I would never use them. Why I had about 45 or 50 of them, I have no idea. But anyway, so I was like, okay, we're starting fresh. Get a new one. Use that. I mean, I used to make everything so unbelievably difficult for myself. It was crazy. So, in a weird way, maybe it's almost meant to be that all of this shit was in disarray and I can't find any of my original stuff that I used to work with because I think I'm learning those lessons. Like it doesn't have to be just that certain way that you used to think everything has to be. Like what if you do just cut the squares of glassine every morning as a part of the ritual of going to work? What if you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Have you guys ever heard that there are miracles waiting around or waiting on the backside of every tragedy? Well, I believe that there is a miracle behind every tragedy. And I believe that I've been receiving A, a lot of tragedies, and B, all of the miracles. There's been no doubt that I've gotten the miracles. what do you say we read to you? Let me take a breath. Again, I'm going to drink some more water. Thank you for listening. I will have a lot more to share with you all about what it's like for me to be back in the studio. After, it's been 2 years now since I last finished. I finished my last show at Inman Gallery in Houston. And after that, it's been kind of, I don't know, a little bit of a hellscape. And my own needs that have always been met through me making art have not been met. And as much as I needed to run away from all of that for a while, my need to be back to it is even greater at this moment. So I don't know what it means for me as a career artist, but I know, meaning like I don't know if I ever want to have another real gallery exhibition or anything like that. I don't know yet. I will see. All right, let me gather my thoughts. Let me quench my thirst, and I'll be right back.
I don't like being upset. Being upset hurts you for days. At least for me, I feel it for days.
All right, I've got my book with me. I've got a quote for you by Cynthia Ozick. She's an American writer, an essayist. An essay is a thing of imagination. That is one of the epigraphs in the great collection of anthologies called A New History of the Essay that I will be reading from today, edited by another American essayist, John D'Agata. That's D''A''Agata. He's an apostrophe buddy, I guess. Not a lot of us have those apostrophes in our last name. Well, I mean, plenty of people throughout the world, but I don't meet a lot of apostrophe friends. I bet he goes through all the same shit I do at the Rite Aid when people don't know where where I am or any doctor's office. And then a lot of times I've told you guys this, I'll say it's O''Neil, and they're like, what's an apostrophe? Is that thing that and they'll do the parenthesis sign. Anyway, back to John D'Agata. I will be reading from The Making of the American Essay, which is the third volume from this highly important to me anthology of essays. This one was published, the volume 3 was published in 2016. All of them are from Grey Wolf Press, which is another publishing company that I'm obsessed with. I've definitely read the exact passage I want to read again today on a past episode of me reading stuff. And guess how much I care that I'm about to do it again? Not one little bit. Because A, I really just I like repeating myself, I guess. And B, it fits with some of the stuff I started working on in the mini studio of mine. So I was thinking about it and wanted to reread it. And then I just thought, well, shit, let's read it to my friends here. But quickly, before I read, I should say something. I'm going to give you guys a little more info on John D'Agata. I love this man. I love his writing. I love his approach to things. I've read almost everything he's ever written. I found that out when doing a little research on him before deciding to read this to you. I looked and I was like, oh, I've only got one thing I haven't read of his. And I will read it soon. But anyway, he's unlike anyone out there as far as contemporary writers go. He's a highly influential and celebrated professor in the nonfiction writing program at the University of Iowa. And his writing and his compiling of things has a way of making me think differently about pretty much everything. One of those being the way I started to think about poetry back in the early days of me reading stuff and me sharing stuff with you guys. Even though he's an essayist, I also consider him to be a poet. And he has definitely made me feel differently about my own artwork. But that's a different story for another time, and I will tell you guys why that is one day. So with that, I will get this book. This is a very big book. I will get this book in my face, and I will read the first piece in the third volume of A New History of the Essay by John D'Agata. And as usual, I'm going to give you guys several links where you can learn more about D'Agata and where you can purchase these books that I am reading from. And here we go. This is actually what he chose for, I got to put on my oh God, I don't even want to get into what is going on with me and my eyesight. I haven't told you guys about my major eye surgery this year, have I? Did I tell you guys? Let me know. Anyway, putting on my glasses, and I'm going to read to you. It's called Creation. The title is Creation, and it is from Anonymous, Kato Indian, 1000 CE. Water went, they say. Land was not, they say. Water only then. Mountains were not, they say. Stones were not, they say. Fish were not, they say. Deer were not, they say. Grizzlies were not, they say. Panthers were not, they say. Wolves were not, they say. People were washed away, they say. Grizzlies were washed away, they say. Panthers were washed away, they say. Deer were washed away, they say. Coyotes were not then, they say. Ravens were not then, they say. Herons were not, they say. Woodpeckers were not, they say. Then wrens were not, they say. Then hummingbirds were not, they say. Then otters were not, they say. Then jackrabbits, gray squirrels were not, they say. Then long-eared mice were not, they say. Then wind was not, they say. Then snow was not, they say. Then rain was not, they say. Then it didn't thunder, they say. Then trees were not when it didn't thunder, they say. It didn't lighten, they say. The clouds were not, they say. Fog was not, they say. It didn't appear, they say. Stars were not, they say. It was very dark. Oh my gosh. There's something beautiful in the introduction here that he read to the reader. Let's see. To my ear, this is the predicament of every essay too, situated as essays always are between chance and contrivance, between the given and the made. The world provides nonfiction, and humans provide the rest. I love that line. The essays in this anthology have an appetite for the rest, for what else nonfiction can do. They are essays with a penchant for making new things, regardless of expectation, regardless of consequence. Let floods come, let dreams come, let something unexpected overtake us and make us new. The world, we all know, is already a nonfiction. Let the essay be what we make of it. Oh my God, I just realized how much that's like-minded to what I was just talking about. I was also thinking, I thought I marked it. I wanted to read, there's a beautiful Kathy Acker piece in this book, and I would love to. Give me a second, and I'll show you guys. See, this is what I love about, I just dropped every single note card out of this book that I had, which kind of pisses me off, but we're going to move on. We're going to pretend like we don't care. There's this Kathy Acker piece called Humility, and I love it, but what I really love, too, is the Degata introduction to it. He says, the way I see it, if fiction means shape, and novel means new, and poetry means make, and drama means do, there ought to be a space that's reserved for our unknowing, that gorgeous, messy practice of perpetual pursuit, the attempts that are as much about apprenticeships with knowing as they are with failure too. So there you go. I don't have time. You don't have time to listen to the Kathy Acker piece. We may read that another time. I recall back when I still lived in Beverly Hills, I proposed the idea of having a John Degata month where I was only going to read from John Degata for a month. And maybe I still should do that. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. What would you guys think? I feel like you guys all like the John Degata stuff too, don't you? If not, get the hell out of here. Not really. You guys know the only time I kick anybody out of here is if they are either a child molester, a rapist, or a racist, or any bigot of any kind. So, unless you're one of those things, you are more than welcome to come in here. You don't have to like the things I like. That is not a requirement. Anyway, guys, it's getting late. I've been talking a while. It's time for you to head out. You have things to do. I'm recording this on a different night. I have to go to sleep. I have dreams to dream. I've been dreaming wild-ass things lately. like really fun realities, things that would never happen but actually could happen. And I'm always a babysitter, though. I'm always a babysitter to like a celebrity. So that's kind of the fun part about it. That would probably be a nightmare in real life. Speaking of nightmares, these dreams about being a babysitter to a bunch of celebrities is way better than the nightmares I was having for so long. Yeah, that was a constant in my life for a while. Anyway, here's to no more whimpering in my sleep. How are your dreams? You guys dream and remember things? Are they good? Are they terrifying? Are they about school, lockers? Are they about test taking? Are they sexual? Are they dull? And how is your heart? It's time to ask you guys about your heart. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how satisfied with your life are you? That has nothing to do with your heart. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. But I am curious, are you satisfied with your life? I guess that came out for a reason. I have a little note in my little studio. I keep calling it a little studio. And it says, I made the note at some point last year. It said, you want exactly what you already have, or something to that effect. I'm not in there right now, so I don't know how it's worded. But a lot of times I get really upset about various things. And then I realize, you know what? Your life is actually exactly what you want it to be. Aside from my massive health problems, I mean, I'm not complaining, so that's nice. So I don't know where that puts me. I guess I'm satisfied, at least when I'm in my right mind. So when I say those words out loud, I would say I'm a 9, and the only reason I'm not a 10 is because of all my health issues. All right, let's do one more question. You asked for it, you got it. I always like asking you about your anxiety. On a scale of 1 to 12, 12 being super anxious, 0 being as calm as humanly possible, like a Buddhist monk on anesthesia. Where are you? I can answer it. I showed you guys on that accidental post on Substack my actual scale of where my anxiety has been over the last year. And I was doing so well. I mean, I had been in the green, which is great. You don't want to be in the red. I was in the green. I was low anxiety, like 3 out of 20 or something like that on the official test my therapist gives me. Until, guess what? Not long ago, I got a call from my cardiologist, and it changed everything. And then my anxiety shot right back up. But I think circumstantial, anxiety is understandable. It's that kind of always sustaining a high level of anxiety no matter what's going on is the bad news. But like certain things are going to mess you up. The problem for me, though, is that, how do I say this? I mean, I'm not going to say the person's name, but I greatly dislike, I just don't know about saying the word that starts with H because it feels mean, H-A-T-E. But I really, I'm sorry to be so brazen, but I need to share it with somebody. He's a really bad dude, everybody. And I am under his care, and it has been a living nightmare for several months now. And I've been undergoing all these procedures and tests and all this stuff, and it's just like this ongoing nightmare that never has to be a nightmare, but he makes it a nightmare. And so now I have to go find a new cardiologist because I'm with a bad dude. I'm pretty sure he's going to be on 2020 or Dateline. You just wait. Something is seriously wrong. Something is seriously up with this guy. So if you pray for me. I need it. My heart definitely needs it. I'll always pray for you guys, whether you like it or not. And I love doing loving kindness meditations too. Do you guys know those? I learned them in yoga a long time ago. I especially love doing the part where if you know what a loving kindness meditation is, look it up if you don't. But I love it when you zero in on someone you see in your daily life but don't know. Like they always recommend a checker at your grocery store, or the laundromat supervisor, or the creep who walks by your house at 2:30 p.m. every day. Can you tell I have that? I actually have a creep who walks by my house at 2:30 every day. Anyway, closing things out. Wow, I've put out a lot today. This is a lot. This is a lot of energy I just put out there. Let's see. Let me take my glasses off and just breathe and listen to you. Listen to what you might need me to say. I hope you feel comforted in some way by all of this. I don't know why you would at this point, but I hope you do. I hope you have the things on your desk organized. I hope all the clothes you need to wear this week are clean. I hope your hair is clean and shiny. I like it when you're satisfied. So I do hope you're satisfied with your life. I like that question. And I like us all to get closer and closer to being satisfied. I love it when you and I talk. You, all of you out there, and me. Keep it small. Enjoy it all. I heard that somewhere. Keep it small. Enjoy it all. Let's not catastrophize. That's a reminder to myself. You'll stop worrying about what people think about you when you realize how rarely they do. Boom. Rest is a sacred act. And fire your bad cardiologists. Good night, everybody. I love you.